we are joined with Hugo de Stacpoole from Seedrs, and we're going to be finding out a little bit more about what to do before you think of crowdfunding and also the planning process. So Hugo, I want to start by just you telling me about Seedrs and what exactly you guys do.
Sure, absolutely. So I sit in our campaigns team at Seedrs, and there's a team of around 6 or 7 of us. And it's our job basically to speak to entrepreneurs, learn a little bit more about their businesses and decide whether they are suitable for equity crowdfunding. So Seedrs, what is equity crowdfunding? Well, we help businesses raise anywhere between 50,000 up to 5 million on the platform, and we are democratizing investment, giving our investor base, which is over 300,000 people, the opportunity to invest in early stage startups, early stage equity. So we're on the lookout for businesses across all different industries who are looking to raise money from lots of people rather than individuals and institutions. The benefits of that is that you can bring on, let's say, a couple of hundred investors there, all your marketeers, your advocates, the guys who are going to spread the word about your business. And to put it bluntly, who's not going to buy a beer they're an investor in, that sort of thing. Yeah. You're attracting large numbers of investors who are going to invest in your business in exchange for equity. So similar to Kickstarter, Indiegogo, but for equity rather than rewards.
Okay, awesome. And obviously is there a magic formula to this? Do startups have to take a process with yourselves over a 3, 6, 9 month process before you go live, or how does that work if a startup wanted to reach out to you guys?
Yeah, so we're not industry specific. We work with clients across all different industries, helping them raise up to 5 million. But typically the businesses that do really well on our platform are typically B2C businesses, businesses that have a community around them. A community is the buzzword within equity crowdfunding. It's companies that have large amounts of users, large amounts of customers who have got a product, an MVP, who have traction, who are looking to raise capital and grow and scale very quickly. Because that, at the end of the day, is what our investors are looking for. Businesses that can grow and scale and potentially exit in a short time frame. So businesses that we target are typically consumer facing. They have users, customers, and the industries that do really well typically are F&B brands, so food and beverage, sort of fintech brands, prop tech companies, and who have that sort of technology element that can help them scale very quickly. So those are the type of businesses and industries that we sort of target primarily.
So what are the biggest mistakes that a startup would make in crowdfunding? Is it going live without planning over that period beforehand, or?
Yeah, so I think in my view, the most important part of any campaign that goes live on Seedrs, the most important element is the planning process, because currently at Seedrs we have a 68% success rate, and that's the highest across the industry.
Wow, that's great.
And that is businesses that go live and successfully fund. And the reason why that success rate is so high is because there is a real strategy that we like to put in place, and we're dealing with startups to try and get them in the strongest position possible to not only hit their target but also go on and hit a stretch target in overfunding. And that lead up to the campaign is really important. And how we break that down is, first of all, we're regulated by the FCA, so and we're headquartered in London. And first of all, a company has to submit a campaign, which is the written element of the campaign. The lead up to going live takes around 4 to 6 weeks. The first couple of weeks is us doing due diligence on that campaign and that business, so doing company checks, background checks on the founders, and going through that written campaign and reviewing all that information. The third and fourth week, the most important in my view, is developing a marketing and PR strategy for their raise, because we're an investment platform, but we're also a marketing agency to a certain degree, whereby we're pushing out campaigns across our marketing channels and PR channels to help drive investment, but also build a brand as well. And we'll sit down with businesses, develop that strategy, how we're going to go out to the market and really help drive investment from our community and theirs. And in that period is also what we're going to help with is a lot of email marketing for them, targeting their users and customers. And one of the ways in which we do that is create a email marketing template that we send out to all those subscribers they may have on their platform, but also maybe a pre-raise page. And that is a bespoke landing page that we'll create for those individuals and those businesses, which is separate to the campaign, saying, listen guys, we're thinking about doing a crowd raise. Are you interested, yes or no? If you were going to invest, how much would you put in? £10, £20, £50. It's a way of building up momentum, building up hype, because at the end of the day, crowdfunding is all about momentum, and it's all about validation. So we will help companies target their customers through that pre-raise page, building up as much hype as possible so that when they go live, a lot of investment comes in the first couple of days.
That's what I was going to say. So you always see a lot of startup campaigns on crowdfunding platforms where literally they're raising 15, 20, 25, 30% of their investment in the first couple of days. And that's because of all the work that's done behind the scenes before the point of going live.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So most businesses, probably about 95 to 100% of businesses that go live on the Seedrs platform are co-investments. So they will have a lead investor to anchor the round. And then on top of that, they have their own community coming on board, and obviously our investors who will come on board as well. So it's really important to have that anchor and lead investor because it validates that business. If I'm an investor on Seedrs, I log on, I see a campaign. If that business has gone live on 0%, they can't persuade anyone that they know to invest in that business. Realistically, I'm not going to invest because there's no validation. It's a bit like walking down a high street. There's a busy restaurant next door to an empty one. You're probably going to queue for the busy restaurant rather than going into the empty restaurant. And that's a bit like crowdfunding, but validation, also crowd mentality. You follow the crowd in that sense.
So when a company has validation, they've got you. Obviously, you're not going to hold their hand. What's the mistakes they do to make it not happen? What can you tell somebody? This is what you have to do if you want to survive.
So one of the mistakes that entrepreneurs make when they're crowdfunding.
Once they've been validated, they're running on you.
Once they're on the platform, what can detract from investment? Well, number of factors. One could be the valuation of the business. If the valuation is too high, sometimes crowd investors, our investors, can get detracted from investing.
Something like that's not worth that.
It's not worth that. Okay. And obviously valuing an early stage business is highly difficult. It's quite subjective. Some of these businesses might be pre-revenue as well, so that can detract. But also, crowdfunding is not a case of sticking up a campaign and waiting for the money to roll in. It's a lot of it is hard work.
It's kind of why I said that you're not there to hold their hand.
We have, for every campaign that goes on the platform, they'll have that individual and that company will have 4 people working with them. An account manager, myself, a member of my team, an investment associate who will do all the investment side of things. And then we have a marketing associate and a PR officer. So they have 4 people working with them. So there is a certain level of hand-holding. But actually for the entrepreneur, they need to be really engaged and be really proactive, because when a campaign is live, they'll get a lot of questions from investors saying, why is your valuation X? Talk me through your financials, and they need to be really proactive in getting back to those investors for them to convert them as well as actually having discussions offline with potential investors, because the beauty of crowdfunding is everything's there in one space. You have your unique URL, your campaign's all there, and you have a time limit. So when you're having conversations offline, you say, listen, you might not want to put in 100 grand, but you can put in 2 grand. Here's my campaign. It's all there, pitch deck, business plan, video, everything. So it's a good way of converting conversations as well. But
it must be pretty gutting getting to say 90, 95% and then seeing a campaign just stop at the end. Does that happen a wee bit, or just generally people that get to that point, do they go over the line?
Yeah, so typically once a business is over 80% funded, I think it's around 90% fund total. Okay. So actually, again, it comes back to the crowd mentality. If I'm an investor, I might really like the idea and really like the business, but once it's hit 80%, suddenly there's a little bit more validation there. A lot of people come on. I'm actually going to invest now, and actually that tends to push it over.
I think I've only ever actually opted to any Kickstarters. I think once they've got them, so it's 30%. I'll do it later.
Yeah, exactly. You've got time.
Everybody does that.
And also, once the campaign's hit its target, that entrepreneur can take the campaign down at any point. And our investors know that. So again, right from that point, there's a sort of fear of missing out. Get involved while you still can. Huge sort of marketing PR ploy. So we would always say to any entrepreneur, set the minimum target you need to achieve your short to medium term goals, and then try and hit a stretch target and overfund it. Because most businesses and Seedrs overfund by 30 to 40% once they've hit their target. And again, that comes down to the fear of missing out, the crowd mentality. When it comes down to that target, once a campaign has actually reached that 80-90% threshold, it tends to fund.
So you're here at Digital DNA. We're very grateful for you being a major sponsor here and supporting obviously the pitch event that's happening here. Yeah. So obviously, what do you want to see? What do you want to see from the startups for pitching over the next couple of days?
Yeah, so really interested to see businesses that can have demonstrated traction in their given markets, and businesses that are obviously fundraising, who are interested in this model and may have a large community around them, and they see the benefits of getting that community involved in their fundraising round, because that's the power of crowdfunding. It's not. You might be an excellent business, but this way of raising capital may not be suitable for you. It's businesses that want to bring their community together to invest in them and have an army of advocates to support them further down the line. So we're looking for businesses that potentially are B2C and have that community around them and and are looking to scale.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you're not at Digital DNA, you can find Seedrs on what? Seedrs.com.
Seedrs.com. Yeah.
Seedrs.com, and obviously we appreciate you being here and obviously supporting our event as well. So
That's it.
best wishes and
Exactly.
enjoy the next couple of days.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot.